Okay, let's dive into a statistic that's going to completely mess with how you see modern development. It's a number so huge, it basically rewrites the rulebook on what it takes to build a nation. Let's get right into it. So here it is, the big one. Between 2011 and 2013, just 3 years, China produced and used more cement than the United States did in the entire 20th century. Just try to wrap your head around that for a second. All the dams, the skyscrapers, the highways that defined 100 years of America, basically recreated in 36 months. It's just a staggering thought, right? I mean, how is that even possible? A number that huge just doesn't feel real. It kind of breaks our sense of history and what progress looks like. So how would we even begin to understand this scale of production? Well, lucky for us, there's one guy who has spent his entire life quantifying the physical reality of our world. To really get a handle on this, we need a guide. And there's really only one person to turn to when it comes to the physical world. His name is Vaclav Smil, and he is the undisputed master of mass. Now, you might not know his name, but Smil's influence, it's huge. We're talking about the guy Bill Gates calls his go-to for understanding how the world actually works. Gates has said there's no author he looks forward to reading more. That tells you something. And his body of work is just, wow. Over his career, he's put out something like 50 books, digging into everything from energy to food to the very materials that build our civilization. The thing about Smile is he's not interested in hype or tech fantasies. He's all about the hard physical numbers that shape our reality. Yeah, his whole thing is cutting through all the noise from, as he calls them, the data worshippers. He's here to remind us that we live in a material world, a world that runs on concrete and steel and massive flows of energy, not just code.
And you can hear it in his own words. He says his interest is in unraveling and exposing the connectedness of what we do and what it costs the planet. This idea is absolutely key to understanding that cement shocker and, really, the foundation of our entire world.
So, according to Smil, our entire incredibly complex global world, it's basically built on just 4 materials. And here's the kicker. Right now, we can't substitute them. Let's break them down. And here they are: ammonia, steel, cement, and plastics. Take a look at the sheer scale of this. The amount we produce every year is just mind-boggling. And these aren't nice-to-haves. They are literally the materials that build our modern lives.
Okay, so first up, ammonia. Why? Because it's the foundation of all synthetic fertilizers. Smile calculates that without it, we could only feed about half the people on Earth. It's not an exaggeration to say it's the chemical that feeds humanity.
Next, you've got steel. Smile has this great line where he says you could get rid of almost anything else and we'd figure out a substitute. But take away iron, the whole system collapses. We're still living in the Iron Age, folks, make no mistake. And pillar number 3, cement. This brings us right back to that shocking number we started with. It's the bedrock of every single city, every road, every airport. And our demand for it is just endless, especially when a country is developing fast. And last but not least, plastics. I mean, think about it. It's the most versatile material we've ever come up with, crucial for everything from medicine to keeping our food safe. Now, here's the thing. All 4 of these pillars, these titans of industry, they all share one thing: a massive, massive appetite for energy. So what happens when a country with over 1 billion people decides to build an entire modern society, basically overnight? Well, you get the ultimate real-world example of these 4 pillars in action. You get China. The sheer scale of what happened in China is hard to wrap your head around. In the mid-2000s, just think about this. Every single year, China was adding more new electricity capacity than the entire existing power grid of countries like the UK or France. And where did that power come from? Roughly 80% of it was coal. And to fuel that, China's coal mining just exploded. It went from 1 billion tons a year to nearly 4 billion. This wasn't just growth, it was a complete shift in how the world uses energy and materials. Nothing like it has ever happened before. And that is the energy that poured all that cement. Okay, so this massive physical reality has huge implications for our future. Because what Smil argues is that the sheer weight of our civilization is exactly why changing our energy systems is so damn hard. Just look at this. Back in 1994, fossil fuels powered 86% of the world. Now, fast forward almost 3 decades. After all the climate talks, all the wind turbines, all the solar panels, where are we? We're at 82%. A 4% drop. The system is just too big to turn on a dime.
And Smalley just leaves it out there, right? He asked this really simple question. If it took us almost 30 years to drop just 4%, how likely is it that we're going to drop the other 82% in the next 28? It's not him being a downer, it's just him looking at the pure physics and logistics of it all. So, where does all this leave us? What's the big takeaway from wading through Smile's world of hard numbers and physical facts? Well, it brings us to one last, pretty uncomfortable question. Here's the bottom line. Our world is built on mass, not just data. The sheer scale of everything means that changing our energy sources isn't an overnight fix. It's a project that takes generations. And that really forces you to think. Maybe the real issue isn't just where our energy comes from, but the insane, ever-growing amount of it that we consume. And that's really the final question that Smile's work kind of throws in your lap. We're constantly told that some new technology is going to save the day, that innovation will give us a painless, easy transition. But what if the numbers, the hard physics of it all, say that's just a fantasy? If the real world of steel and cement and energy can only move so fast, well, maybe the thing that really needs to change is us. Maybe it's our expectations.